So you want your makeup to look like this, but you don't know how to layer your products? This video is for you. Step 1 is always brows for me. I find that brow gel always works best when you do it on clean brows, because if you have any skincare or makeup in your brows, that's when you get those white crusty flakes. Also, doing your brow gel after your foundation can mess up the foundation around your brows. The next step is skin prep. This is like one of the most important steps. I like to keep it simple though and just go in with a milky toner. I'm going in with the Rhode Glazing Milk. After the toner, I like to go in with the moisturizer. I'm just using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. You can use any moisturizer that you know works for your skin. Let the skin prep sit and fully dry before you apply any other makeup products on top, because if you don't, that's when things start to pill. Now we go in with the primer. I don't always do this step. The skin prep itself makes a really good primer, so you don't really need to use a primer, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna use a primer, and my favorite one is the Iconic London Blurring Primer. Again, let this fully dry before you apply any foundation or skin tints on top. Now that we have a perfect base for our makeup, we can go in with a skin tint or foundation. I'm using a skin tint and I like to apply it with a brush, and then I go over it with a beauty sponge just to make sure everything's all blended. Next step is bronzer. I like to place my bronzer on the high points of my cheekbone like that. Also on my forehead. Bronzer is supposed to mimic the look of sun and being sun-kissed, so I put this anywhere that the sun would naturally hit, and I blend everything upwards to lift the face. Then I go in with cream blush, which I like to put on the apples of my cheeks and kind of going upwards on the cheekbone. Make sure to blend this upwards as well to also lift the face. And I also like to blend this into my bronzer so they're not too harsh lines. You want them to look very seamless. And if you're having trouble with them looking seamless, just go over it with a sponge. Next is concealer. I personally like to go in with concealer after I do my cream blush and cream bronzer. So if you're heavy-handed with the blush or the bronzer, you can clean it up with concealer. These are the places that I like to put it under my eyes, and then I also like to clean up under the cheekbone. All the cream products are done. Now I like to go in with a setting spray. Next, I set the face. Make sure there is no creases before setting with loose setting powder. I always use a powder puff, and I like to tap the excess off so you're not going in with too much product, and then set the under eyes. Taking a little powder brush, I'm going to lightly set the rest of my face. Now we have to set all the cream products we just applied with their corresponding powder products. So now we go in with powder bronzer in the same exact places you just applied the cream. Now setting the cream blush with powder blush, and then I'll set my face again. I'm using the One Size Powder Melt setting spray. I like how this makes my skin look glowy. And then I go in with highlighter. I personally just like to apply my highlighter after I set my face with setting spray. I find when your face is a little bit damp, it makes the highlighter pop just a little bit more. I apply highlighter to the high points of my cheekbones, the high points of my nose, and the brow bone. Now the complexion's done, we move on to the eyes. I'm doing eyeshadow first, then eyeliner, then mascara, and lastly the lip combo. I like to do a lip stain, then a lip liner on top, and a gloss. And the very last step is a finishing spray. And that's how I layer my makeup.